Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new then welcome. My name's Christina and on my channel we talk all things beauty from my own experiences. So before you go, make sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave any comments that you have for me down below. Today we're going to be talking all about the brand new reformulated Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear Foundation. This is supposed to be a matte full coverage super long wear foundation. I did try out the original formulation and honestly I was not a fan, so I'm super curious about this new reformulation because that tells me that I was not alone in my opinion on it. I'm gonna do a demo, talk about my first impressions and my final thoughts, and I may throw in a little bit of a wear test throughout the next couple of days just to show you guys how this foundation is wearing. So if those are things that you're interested in, then let's get started. I bought the shade 355N and it says before it was the shade 360. So if you did used to have this foundation and wear this foundation, it should be pretty easy for you to figure out which shade you are. And the reason why the shades changed was because they added 28 new shades to cater to more skin tones. I'm on their website right now. Let's read out the specs before we get started on the demo. So it says this is a full coverage natural matte foundation, thinnest and most breathable formula yet. It is also supposed to be a buildable formulation, waterproof and sweatproof and humidity resistant, powered by advanced airwear technology, giving you a flawless, undetectable finish with added benefits of skin-loving ingredients like hyaluronic acid, vitamin E, moringa seed extracts, and prebiotics. It says that they have 50 shades, and some shades include ultramarine blue pigment for pure deep shades without a gray cast, and chromium oxide green pigment for olive shades that aren't too yellow or orange. That's actually really nice to hear because one of my gripes with the original formulation was that the shade that was supposed to be my shade, the one that was closest to my skin tone, looked a little grayish on me. I bought mine at Ulta for $57. You can purchase it at Sephora, at Ulta, in stores as well, and I decided to go into Ulta stores to swatch it because I wanted to make sure that I got my shade correct. All right, let's get started with the demo, see how this wears. Now it is 6 p.m. and it's raining right now, if you can hear that, or if you end up hearing any type of thunder, that's what that is. So it's not going to be a full day wear test today, but I am going to be spreading it out across a couple of days just so I can give you guys more of a comprehensive idea of how this foundation is doing for me. And if you're new here, I do have combination normal to oily skin type. I am a neutral undertone. I'm going to put all of my foundation matches in the description box down below so you can reference all of that. Prepped my face with my Glow Recipe Niacinamide Dewdrops and my Embryo Elise Cream. And I already have my brows done, and I also prepped my under eyes with Ulla Henriksen Banana Bright Eye Cream. So I'm going to go ahead and shake her up. Sounds quite thin, quite liquidy. I'm going to do a little pump on the back of my hand so we can see the texture of this. And it does run down the hand, not super quickly. It does still have a little bit of form to it. So it's thicker than, say, a serum foundation, but definitely thinner than a creamy foundation. And that is what that looks like. Ooh, has a scent to it. Is that floral? Can't tell what that is, but it definitely has some sort of added fragrance to it. I'm going to take my Makeup by Mario brush. This is a dual-ended brush. I ended up super gluing the loose side. I don't know if you guys saw my video or was talking about that, but I super glued it and it's pretty much good as new. So I'm just taking what I put on the back of my hand and we're going in all over the face, starting in the center. Pretty good color match. I will say it's looking a little bit light, maybe a little bit grayish before I blend her. I'm curious to see if this will still match me as I get more tan during the summertime. I have a feeling that this is gonna be as light as I can go. Ooh, but it looks great. That looks pretty good on the skin, blending really easily. It does feel thin, but it's not serum foundation thin. It's definitely still a pretty nice, thin, creamy foundation. And once it's blended on the skin, it definitely does give you more of that matte finish versus a dewy finish. Well, actually, I don't know. I think because it's still wet, it's coming off kind of dewy, but the areas where it's starting to dry down, it definitely does look more like a matte finish. Okay, I only have a little bit of foundation right here in the center of my face. You can probably see where it like cuts off right there. I don't have any on the side of my left side, But just to show you guys kind of how it's looking right now, this side I have the foundation on. It definitely looks like it's going to be a full coverage foundation, which is really nice. I'm wondering if it's going to dry down any more than it already has. I have a feeling that it's probably going to just kind of stay like this. I like the color match. I actually, oh my gosh, my hair looks crazy. I let it air dry last night. My hair looked really crazy, so I had to push it back. But this is looking really nice. Let's go ahead and do the rest of my face. I have a lot of breakouts right now on the left side of my face, and it's covering that up pretty well. It is lighter than my forehead though, for sure. Just gonna take my sponge and pat out any excess that we have. Okay, here's what the skin is looking like. It actually looks really nice. I feel like it looks pretty natural on the skin. I can still see that it's foundation, you know, like I can still, when I look closely, it still looks like I have a little foundation, especially on the sides of my nose, but it doesn't look cakey at all. And I feel like the finish of it right now definitely does look more like natural skin. My big issue with the past formulation was that it just looked really thick and heavy on the skin, and it didn't really blend out very easily and evenly, but this blended out pretty much flawlessly. Just to see how it builds, I want to do a little bit more in the like center area where you can see some of my freckles, and I'm just going to place this anywhere I feel like adding a little more coverage. That actually made a pretty big difference. I feel like my skin looks very even now. Like you can still see the texture for sure, because that's not going to get rid of any actual texture on the skin, but the coloring of my face right now looks a lot better, a lot more even. Ooh, and it really covered up all that acne scarring that I have going on right there. Yeah, this has really great coverage, I will say. In terms of how it's gonna sit on the face though, we'll see how it looks once I powder everything down. Hopefully it doesn't look really cakey. All right, and then taking my sponge again to just pat out any excess. Yeah, this coverage is really nice. I have been typically just using medium buildable coverage foundations, so this is definitely a step up. Obviously, because it's a full coverage foundation, it's not something that I would typically go for day-to-day wear. If I want something full coverage, this looks like it's gonna be my product. The color is like 10 times better than the original color that I tried out in the original formulation. So now that we have the foundation on, let's go ahead and do the rest of our face, and then we'll be back to talk about how it kind of is sitting on my skin and how it meshed with all my other products. Okay, we are back, and it is officially really pouring outside, so sorry if you can hear that, but we have the finished face here. By the way, on my eyes right now, I have this ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in Rooftop Cocktails, and on my lips, I have the Florisist Ultra Satin Lip in G501. I believe this is called Gentle Strength. I have a video swatching all of those, but yeah, this is what the face is looking like. So I definitely think that this is a matte finish when it comes to the foundation. Everything laid onto it really nicely. I kind of regret my blush choice. I did the Say Dew blush in the shade Chili, and the only reason why I regret it is because it made the face very dewy where like the blush is sitting, you know. But I don't know, I felt like I was sort of balancing it out, like the matte of the foundation with a dewy blush, but then I feel like the skin, well, I don't know. You guys let me know. What do you think? Does this combination look good? I went with more of a matte lip to go with the matte foundation. Maybe it is balanced. I don't know. But the foundation overall, I love the coverage. I definitely think that this is going to be a full coverage foundation, and I think it's going to be a good full coverage foundation for people who are not used to or don't typically like a full coverage foundation, specifically because this one definitely does feel a lot thinner than those. When I think full coverage foundation, I think Estee Lauder Double Wear, I think Huda Beauty foundation, like all of those really rich, creamy, thicker foundations. Those definitely have the coverage of a full coverage foundation, but they feel like a full coverage foundation, whereas this one does feel a lot lighter than those in terms of the formulation and the texture and the weight of it on the skin. I think my skin looks pretty flawless. I think it looks very mattified, but it doesn't look dried out, you know what I mean? So it's not clinging anywhere, it's not looking crepey, cakey, anything like that. Overall, I think that this is a solid looking foundation, at least from first impression, from first putting it on. I will be doing check-ins throughout the night so I can kind of talk you guys through how it's wearing, how it's sitting and everything. I did powder my entire face with my Huda Beauty loose powder here in the shade Banana Bread. Oh, I forgot to set my face. I'm going to set my face with my One Size setting spray. This combination, this setting spray and this powder is absolute magic. Keeps your face on all day. It is already like 7:30 or 7 o'clock, so I'm not going to be wearing it for much longer, maybe like 4 more hours, but I will be doing check-ins with you guys, and I'm also going to be inserting clips of me wearing these throughout the next couple of days so you can see what the foundation is looking like. Overall, I think it's a solid foundation. However, I'm gonna say it, it's an expensive foundation. $57. $57 for a foundation is a lot of money, especially if you're someone like me and you have a lot of foundations. This is not the most cost-effective foundation. However, if you're gonna have one full coverage foundation in your collection specifically to wear for like specific occasions, you know, I could probably justify spending that much money on it, but it is definitely expensive, I will say. Is it life-changing? No, not so far. We're gonna see through the wear tests throughout the next couple of days if I change my mind on that. It's a good one, but it's not gonna be, you know, changing my mind about all my other foundations, I guess. But in saying that, it's definitely better than the first formulation. That one was just so dry. It definitely looked cakey on the skin. I don't remember if the texture was thicker than this, but it definitely was noticeably drier and harder to blend out. So really great improvement in the formulation, at least when it comes to the efficacy and putting it onto the skin. Hey guys, it's the next day and it is so gloomy outside. I'm sitting here editing and I wanted to check in because I did do my makeup today with that foundation that we tested out. It looks pretty good. I will say my forehead's looking a little bit dry, but I did use a different concealer today that's also a matte concealer, and it's looking dry mainly in this area where I placed the concealer, so it might be a combination of the two. Maybe they're just not compatible with each other. Other than that though, the face is looking pretty solid, pretty much the same as yesterday, coverage wise and all that. I used a different brush today though, and I think that it deposited more foundation onto the face, so I definitely feel like I looked more matte whenever I finished applying all of it to the face. So keep that in mind. I definitely do think your tools make a huge difference. I'm wearing the Huda Beauty lip stain right now. Been wearing it for a while and it still looks good. Okay, that's my first check-in on the second day of wear. Here for a check-in, it's 7 p.m. I just did that. I'm gonna take a quick nap thing and I slept for like 2 hours. So I just woke up and the foundation surprisingly is looking really good. I'm pretty oily around my nose. You can probably see that as I move my head around. Pretty oily around the nose, a little bit like right here on the cheeks, but the forehead still looks nice. I know it looks really shiny here, but in person, it looks pretty good. I don't have any transferring, which is good. And again, keep in mind, I just took a nap. I think the best thing about this that I've noticed so far is oil control, and it seems to be pretty transfer proof. Okay, hello, it is 12:15. I got stuck. I'm still watching the last episode of White Lotus season 2. But I wanted to do my last check-in for the night. This is what the face is looking like. Definitely have some oils building up right here in my forehead, and I can see a little bit starting to form around my nose. But other than that, it's looking really good. Even though there's oils on the face, it doesn't look excessively oily. I see a little bit here. I hope you guys can see it like kind of catching the light there, but it looks good otherwise. My blush is still kind of there. My bronzer and everything is still sitting on the foundation really well. So overall, this lasting power is pretty good. It's been on for about 5 hours now. Probably could go with a little bit of a blot, especially if I were like out and about, I'm sure I would be a little bit more oily, but overall, did well. Hey guys, at Costco, getting my groceries, and I feel like they knew that I was coming because everything that I needed to pick up is on sale, and I love that. This is gonna be my last day wearing this foundation, and I went for kind of like a dewier look, so everything on top is kind of just creams, and I very lightly powdered my face just under my eyes. I actually think today is like my favorite way that it's been looking. So I'll check in again later. I also thought it would be a really good idea to do this today when I was like out and about, so we can get an idea of like how it wears outside of the house. All right, I just loaded up my car with my groceries. I'm really sweaty, and I was talking on the phone with my husband, and whenever I hung up, I noticed that there was some foundation on the phone, which that happens to me pretty much every time. Does that happen to you guys? It's very hot today. It is, oh, it's only 80 degrees here, which I know for some people only sounds like hot, but for us, it is, that's not bad. It's 80 degrees, but it is very sunny today. The UV index is moderate. And I loaded up the car and I got a little sweaty. I feel sweaty like on my forehead and a little bit on my nose and stuff, but I don't feel like I look like it. I don't know, I could be completely wrong and I could be looking real crazy right now, but it's okay. So now I'm headed over to Aldi and Trader Joe's to get the rest of our groceries. Trader Joe's is kind of just like, for me, I love Trader Joe's and I like to browse. And then I'm gonna head home and start working. So that's gonna be the extent of this wear test, most likely, just the rest of my groceries, and then I'm gonna head home. Okay, so this was not part of the plan, but when is it ever? Just stopped at Target because the Future Collective collection came out and I really wanted a couple of the pieces, and I got some right here. I got a dress, a top, and I actually got two tops. And one of them was supposed to be a salvaged top, so it was supposed to be taken back, but it was still on the floor. And they gave it to me for $5. So what a steal. Okay, oh my gosh, look, you can actually see the sweat on my face. It's very hot outside. It is now 82 degrees outside, so it's getting hotter. I tried on a ton of different clothes, and I was trying very hard not to rub my face on anything because I did not want to do that to the merchandise, and I also just didn't want to do that to my face either. And everything seems to have stayed put. Other than the sweat, everything is looking really good. Now we're going to Trader Joe's and Aldi. All right, is it just me, or does Trader Joe's everywhere have the smallest parking lot ever? I found the Brazil Nut Body Wash and candles. They also have the body butter and the scrub, but I still have both of those, so I don't need that. We just finished at Trader Joe's, and it just started raining. So perfect timing. It started drizzling right as I was walking to my car. Headed home. Gonna give you guys the final update. This is what we're looking like. Still pretty sweaty. I would say that this is a combination of sweat and oil. Mainly sweat, I think. But I still think it looks pretty good. Let me put the brightness down a little so you guys can kind of see. All right, so this is what it's looking like. My hair is sticking to my sweaty face. I think this face of makeup is solid. I think it's done me well for the day. So let's head home. Guys, I'm back. I meant to check in whenever I got home, but I ended up getting kind of sidetracked, and I cooked lunch, and then I ended up taking a nap again. I'm not a big nap girl, but lately I've been so tired. No, I'm not pregnant. I think that I need to go to the doctor and get my thyroids checked. Anyways, so I should have said earlier, I put this foundation on around 9:30, so now it is almost 5 o'clock. So we've had it on for about 7.5 hours, and I think that it is held up pretty well. There's a little bit of rubbing of my bronzer, blush, and maybe a little bit of the foundation right there, but that's the side that I ended up falling asleep on. I'm very pleased with it. I think it is a great option for a matte foundation. It's still going to allow for your oils to come through, so keep that in mind. It's not going to completely set and mattify your face for the entire day. From what I've noticed, your oils do just naturally come through, but I feel like it helps with oil control. So if you're looking for something just to kind of keep your oils at bay, or I'm sorry, to control them, then this would be a good option for you. I think it looks really nice. So I think that is going to be the end of my wear test, 3 days of wear, and I like it. I think it's really great. Still $57 is a lot of money. I would not be running out to buy this foundation, but I definitely think it's a good one for what it is, what it claims. It does everything that it claims it will, but I think that it is a great foundation. Okay, bye. All right, guys, that is everything for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.